In this talk, I demonstrate two predictive techniques that can function independently but also be combined for a more comprehensive analysis. Which predictive techniques? These are annual profections and solar returns. I will combine these two techniques and I will even combine with transits. And I hope you will have a different view after this presentation and you will look in a different way to your solar return chart. And from the Hellenistic sources, we know that the solar return wasn't used as a standalone chart the way we might use it today. Instead, it was used with annual profections. And profections is one of the techniques used to establish the divisions of the times in the Hellenistic tradition. Now, here we go. Sorry for that, we can't see the chart here, but I hope we don't have much problem in the following pages. Annual profections. Maybe you have already heard this technique. Maybe you are new to this technique, but I will explain from the very start. And if you don't have even any knowledge about that, you will have you will understand very easily. And annual profections changes each year on your birthday. And when we move from the ascendant through the chart, we move one house each year. You can also profect other planets, points. This is also possible. But mostly we profect from the ascendant. But you may choose to profect from your Sun, from your MC, from Venus. This is also possible. But the most used one is moving from the ascendant. And we move one house per year. And we will look at annual profections, monthly profections, and even daily profections. But to be honest, I don't even use daily profections. And it's not used as much. So the most used ones are annual and the monthly ones. So I also suggest you to use this one mostly, annual and the monthly one. And how to profect? We will profect one house sign per year. Let me show you. We will start when you are born. We start from the ascendant, and each year on your birthday, we move one house. So when you are 12 years old, 24, 36, 48, and 60, you are having first house profection year. Then each 1 year later, you have second house profection year, and it goes this way. And yes, and monthly profections. How will we look at the monthly ones? We will profect one house per month, beginning at the annual profected house. I will explain it very briefly. And daily profections, the one that we don't use very often, but you may learn how to use it. Profect 2.5 days per house, beginning at the house of the monthly profection. This is the way we profect houses. First, we will see how will we profect the house and our profected house lord. And let me show you. Yes, each year we dive into get to know one part of our chart more deeply. And your annual time lord, I mean the planet that rules the sign on the profected house. this is your annual time lord. For example, your ascendant is Taurus, so your year lord for that year will be Venus. And when we look at Venus, we will look at in the natal chart and in the solar return chart. Because natally, it's always at the same place. But in our solar return, uh, it's in a different sign, in a different house. So we need to look at its position also in the solar return chart. And our annual time lord, when we look at our annual time lord, if you are, for example, 39 years old, you are having a fourth house profection year if you are 39. And if this is, for example, Aries and it's Mars, your year lord is Mars, then we look at uh, in the house, benefic or malefic planets in the house. We don't just look at the ruler of that house, we also look at the planets in the house, benefic or malefic planets. And this is also important. If you have some Hellenistic astrology knowledge, you already know that. But if you don't know, you may have a note, take a note that Venus and Mars are nocturnal planets. What I mean by nocturnal, they belong to the night. They are night planets. And Jupiter and Saturn are diurnal. So they belong to day. So in a night chart, Venus and Mars are powerful, strong, and Mars is not so malefic like in a day chart, less malefic in a night chart. And if you have a day chart, Saturn is not so malefic like in a night chart. It is less malefic in a day chart. Uh, a Hellenistic astrology knowledge that you may, for example, if you have a day chart, I mean, when you are born, when in the morning, not in an after the sunset. If you have a day chart, and if you have a Mars in a day chart, this Mars will be mostly malefic. Its transits will be more malefic in your life if you have a day chart. And but Saturn will be less malefic if you have a day chart. You may, this is a general knowledge. And in this technique, we look at with whole sign houses. I mean, and we'll also look at whole sign aspects. We can't use Placidus or Koch or any other house system if you are looking your annual profections, because this is a Hellenistic tradition and we need to use it with whole sign house system. Even you use Placidus in your daily work, in your in this system, we need to use whole sign houses and also whole sign aspects. And also, very important, we omit outer planets, Pluto, Neptune, Uranus. We omit these planets when we look at by using this Hellenistic tradition.